When you meet a really good project manager, it's like they have this sixth sense for getting things done. It feels like an art form, doesn't it? Well, today we're going to dive into how we can turn that art into a science. And it all starts with one fundamental question.
Think about it for a second. That intuition is really just built from years of hard-earned lessons, a lot of battle scars from countless projects. And yeah, it's effective, but you can't really teach it or scale it. So what if we could systemize all that wisdom? What if there was a way to kind of bottle that magic?
And that, right there, is the big problem with relying on intuition. When everything depends on just one person's experience, you're opening the door to inconsistency, to miscommunication, and you definitely don't have a unified approach that the whole team can follow.
So the real goal here is to move from that personal, intuitive style to a shared, structured framework. A system that anyone on the team can learn, apply, and use to get great results time and time again.
Well, that system actually has a name, and it all comes down to the promises we make to each other. It's called Commitment-Based Management, or CBM. And believe me, it's a super powerful way to bake a culture of accountability and certainty right into your projects. So what is CBM really? At its heart, it's just a framework to make our communication crystal clear and our coordination totally seamless. For a project manager, it means you can be confident that what was promised will actually get done. And if a problem does pop up, CBM gives you a clear process to manage it.
And the benefits here? They're huge. CBM just cuts right through the usual complexity. Things like confusing reporting lines or silly misinterpretations. It forces everyone to get super clear on the outcomes before anyone agrees to anything. That means no more saying yes to rushed, poorly defined tasks. And this creates this incredible flexibility and really empowers people to take true ownership of their work.
Okay, so to really get this, we need to basically dissect a commitment. Let's break it down and look at its fundamental anatomy. And honestly, it's way simpler than you might think. Every single commitment, whether it's huge or tiny, is basically a promise. It's a pledge made between two people.
So in CBM, you've got two main roles: the customer, who's the one receiving the result, and the performer, who's doing the work to deliver it. But here's the part that might mess with your head a little bit. They have a shared responsibility for the outcome. Yep, you heard that right. This might go against your gut feeling, but the customer is just as responsible as the performer.
And this is the absolute key to that shared responsibility. The customer can't just throw a request over the wall and disappear. No, they have to provide the tools, the support, and, this is a big one, clear updates. If the requirements change mid-project, it's the customer's job to tell the performers so they don't waste time and energy building something that's not needed anymore. For complex projects, this is a total game changer.
Okay, so how does this actually work in the real world? Well, every successful commitment follows a very clear 4-stage life cycle. And getting this right is what separates the good project managers from the truly great ones.
It breaks down into 4 really clear stages. First up is preparation, where a solid request is made. Then you move into negotiation, where both sides get on the same page and agree to the terms. That, of course, leads to performance, actually doing the work. And then it all wraps up with feedback, making sure the outcome was what everyone expected. Mastering this entire flow is what it's all about.
All right, we've got the theory down. Let's talk about the real world for a minute. What does it actually look like when we start making commitments that stick? And what are the consequences when we don't?
Think about something super simple. A supplier promises to deliver 100 tons of material to a job site on Tuesday morning at 10. Seems basic, right? But even a small commitment like that carries some serious weight and real consequences.
Because if that simple delivery goes wrong, the ripple effects are massive. A late delivery costs a ton of money because you have a whole crew just standing around. Poor quality materials, that can create huge safety issues. And getting the specs wrong just triggers a whole cascade of problems down the line. One little broken promise can put the whole project at risk.
But here's the other side of that coin. When you have complex commitments that are really well designed and executed, the impact isn't just positive, it's truly transformative for the entire project. And that changes, it's huge. Your teams stop just checking off tasks on a list and start focusing on delivering the overall project goals. People feel empowered to do things like value engineering, finding smarter, better ways to get the job done without cutting corners. The project itself stops being this rigid, fragile plan and becomes a dynamic, flexible network of commitments. Look, I get it. Applying this to your own projects is going to take some practice. Don't worry if it doesn't feel perfect right out of the gate. The key is to just stick with it, because every little improvement you make in how you communicate or how you request work, it all builds positive momentum. It is absolutely worth it.
So, as we finish up here, I just want to leave you with one final thought to take back to your team. Thinking about your projects right now and everything we just talked about, customers, performers, shared responsibility, what is the single most important commitment that you need to go and redefine today?